Hello and welcome back to Indian Standard Time. I'm Jyoti Malhotra from the Tribune, and as promised, I'm back with the most interesting story of the day, which is the Supreme Court's refusal on Tuesday to ban the use of Urdu on the nameplate of a municipal council in a Maharashtra district in Akola. Now, this is a petitioner called Varshatai Sanjay Bagde, a former councillor of Patur town. She had challenged the use of Urdu on the nameplate of her municipal council, which is in Patur. Mrs. Bagde went right up from the municipal council to the High Court. In fact, she went to the High Court twice and then came right up to the Supreme Court, a petition that's lasted the last 4 or 5 years. And finally, on Tuesday, the Supreme Court threw out her petition and said that Urdu could be used on the nameplate of the municipal council in Akola district on Patur town, and that Urdu actually had the same status as Marathi. And before I go any further, I'd like you to listen to this clip of Javed Akhtar at the India International Centre in Delhi last January. And we are grateful to the IIC for letting us use this clip. Do take a listen.
एक मकान के एक कमरे में एक गोरा चिट्टा मर्द और एक नन्ना मुन्ना बच्चा बाल्टी से नहाए। बावर्ची ने नाश्ता दिया जिसमें उड़द की दाल और टोस्ट थे। आदमी उठा, चिक हटाई, संदूक खोला, पिस्तौल निकाला, दीवार पे टंगी बंदूक ली, रिक्शे में बैठ के चला गया। बच्चा बेबस देखता रहा। किसी को कोई मुश्किल पड़ी? कोई ऐसा शब्द, कोई ऐसी लाइन जो ये क्या है भाई, ऐसा लगा? अब चलिए इसको ज़रा सा एनालाइज करते हैं। एक मकान के मकान अरबिक, एक कमरे में कमरा इटालियन, एक गोरा चिट्टा चिट्टा पंजाबी, मर्द पर्शियन, एक नन्हा मुन्ना बच्चा नन्हो गुजराती, बच्चा पर्शियन, बाल्टी पुर्तगीज, बावर्ची टर्किश, उड़द तमिल, तोस इंग्लिश, चिक टर्किश, संदूक टर्किश, पिस्तौल इंग्लिश, दीवार पर्शियन, बंदूक टर्किश, रिक्शा, fasten your seat belts, Japanese. Japanese. And bebas is the mispronunciation or colloquial pronunciation of vivash, which is Sanskrit. आपने इतनी ज़बानें एक साल बोली, अब आपको अगर प्योर करनी है अपनी ज़बान तो ये सारे वर्ड बाहर निकलने पड़ेंगे आपको।
That was Javed Akhtar, one of the most powerful cultural commentators of our times. But listen carefully to what Javed Akhtar just said. He's saying that there is no such thing as a pure language, that languages take from other languages around them, whether it's English or Portuguese or Burmese or even Japanese. And that's the lesson of this Supreme Court judgment. Now, as I said before, Varshatai Sanjay Bagde, the former municipal councillor of Patur town in the Akola district of Maharashtra, had petitioned before the Supreme Court that Urdu and Marathi do not have the same status. She said Marathi was the official language of Maharashtra and Urdu had no place on that signboard. But the two-judge bench at the Supreme Court, Sudhanshu Dhulia and K. Vinod Chandran, basically threw out that petition, and they said that Urdu and Marathi have the same status under the Constitution, and they rejected her claim that only Marathi should be used in that nameplate. Now, you would ask yourself, or you would ask me, why am I talking about this subject? How does it matter that Urdu and Marathi, whether they are the same status or not, whether one is an official language of Maharashtra and the other is not? How does it matter to you or to me? But the answer, dear viewer, is that we are the languages that we speak. That's why it's called the mother tongue. If you say Sat Sri Akal or Namaste or Adab, they all mean the same thing. It's a form of greeting. But it's, after all, it's the language that we are most comfortable in. And these two judges, which is Sudhanshu Dhulia and K. Vinod Chandran, they went into this subject in some detail, and I would urge you to read the judgment that they have written. It's really a beautifully crafted
50-point judgment over 36 pages or so, written in very simple English. And I urge you to read it, and I'll make sure that there is a link to that judgment in the description of this video. Now, the most important thing about this judgment is that it's looking at the use of Urdu not just in the recent past or today, but over the last 100 years or so, from pre-independence, when Hindustani was the language across North India. And it goes into how the Indian National Congress, in its sessions at Kokonada or Kakinada, as we know of it today, made clear that Hindustani, not Urdu, not Hindi, would be the language of Hindustan. That over the next few years or so, across the 1930s, is reiterated time again. Hindustani, 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 the language of the people, the amalgamation, the coming together, the culmination of Braj, Hindi, Arabic, Persian. This is the language of Hindustan. And then what happens? The partition of India in 1947. And as the two judges, and actually the judgment is really written by Sudhanshu Dhulia, as Mr. Dhulia says, and as have other constitutional experts like Granville Austin said, and Mr. Dhulia quotes Mr. Austin in his judgment, is that Urdu became a victim of the partition of India. But one of the most beautiful things that comes out in this judgment is, and here is, I'm quoting from the judgment, which is that let our concepts be clear. Language is not religion. Language does not even represent religion. Language belongs to a community, to a region, to people, and not to a religion. And over again, across the 36 pages, Mr. Dhulia is extremely eloquent about the fact that he feels so strongly about the fact that Urdu, the people of India today, or many people, let me correct myself, not all the people, but many people in India today have tried to stigmatize Urdu and make it synonymous with Muslims, while Hindi is being made synonymous with Hindus. And that, Mr. Dhulia says, is completely the wrong thing to do. And he talks very eloquently about the fact that the Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb, which is the culture of North India across the North Indian plains, the heartland of North India, over which 400 million people live and die. Now, Mr. Dhulia makes 2 or 3 other points, and I'd like to bring those to you, dear viewer. The first is that India is perhaps the most multilingual country in the world. We know that already. We know that we all speak, and we all grew up with speaking and understanding or hearing at least 2 or 3 languages from the languages we hear around us. But he brings in this information. The first is that according to the 2001 census, India had a total of 122 major languages, including, of course, the 8th schedule in the Constitution, according to which India has 22 scheduled languages and a total of 234 mother tongues, within quotes. From 2001 to fast forward to the 2011 census, when the number of mother tongues goes up from 234 to 270. And also that Urdu is the 6th most spoken scheduled language of India. In fact, it is spoken by at least a part of the population of all the states and union territories in India, except, of course, perhaps in the northeastern states. And here is a quote again from the judgment. The prejudice against Urdu stems from the misconception that Urdu is alien to India. This opinion, we are afraid, is incorrect, as Urdu, like Marathi and Hindi, is an Indo-Aryan language. It is a language which was born in this land. As for Granville Austin, the constitutional expert, the judgment, like I said before, goes on to quote him, and this is what Granville Austin had to say about Urdu. Partition killed Hindustani and endangered the position of English and the provincial languages in the Constitution. If there had been no partition, Hindustani would, without a doubt, have been the national language of India. But the anger against the Muslims by Hindus turned against Urdu. This is Granville Austin, quoted by Sudhanshu Dulya and K. Vinod Chandran in Tuesday's judgment in the Supreme Court, throwing out Varshatai Sanjay Bagade's claim that Urdu cannot be used along with Marathi on the nameplate of a signboard in the Municipal Council of Patur in the district of Akola in Maharashtra. That was really a defense, a very eloquent defense of the fact that languages do not belong to religions. They belong to regions, to people, to communities. We saw that, dear viewer, of course, and if you hark back to 1971 when the India-Pakistan war takes place and a new nation is created, Bangladesh. And what was the slogan of the people of Bangladesh? It was Joy Bangla. Muslims in Bangladesh were seeking a brand new independent country on the basis of religion. Just like in 1956, back here in India, the states are carved out on the basis of language. When in Andhra Pradesh, in 1956, a man called Potti Sriramalu went on a fast unto death. He died, unfortunately, later, demanding that the Telugu-speaking people be given a state of their own or a homeland of their own. So that's how language defies geographical indicators. It excites the passions of people, and all because of the language in which we speak. So as I end my video show today, Indian Standard Time, but before I go, dear viewer, I'd urge you to subscribe to the YouTube channel of the Tribune. Click on the subscribe button. Tell me what you think of my video, Indian Standard Time. Indeed, tell us what you think of all the videos, all the properties from the stables of the Tribune. And like I said, Sat Sri Akal, Adab, Namaste. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.